Hey, I wanted to give you all another glimpse inside of my book. These are two characters that I created, and I wanted to talk. So, one of the characters, he is letting out an audible sound. Some kids who are on the spectrum, they hum or sing, kind of. I'm not going to imitate it because it's so disrespectful, but they do that as a self way to stimulate, or self stim, or stimming, as we call it. And then we have the butterfly flap. When I was going through the process of getting Jacob diagnosed, one of the first things they ask is if he does this, if he flutters. They like flutter their hands really quickly. Now, I've seen a lot of kids do this, and it's not always constant. What I've seen from my experience, it's usually quick, like you have to catch it. Sometimes if they're a little more severe, they'll do it constantly over and over again. And sometimes it's a little shake or a flap, but the flap is usually what they're looking for. I saw a little girl who is high functioning. She was playing with my daughter at the park, and they went up a slide, and she's afraid of the slide. And they also use that if you're a new parent going through the process. They use your child not climbing on playground equipment and things like that as a way to diagnose them. So, if your child is really, really fearful of playground equipment, that could be a sign. But anyway, she was at the top of the structure, the play structure, and my daughter, is like running and goes down the slide really quickly. My daughter is not on the spectrum. She's typically developing. And she got up there, she looked, and she got nervous. She was like looking around, and really quickly, it was like oh, no, I'm not going to do this. And she turned around and came back down. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, when I was going through the process with my son, they would ask if he did that, and I said no. We would say no. We started going through the process when he was around 3. But I would say when he was around 5, we took him somewhere. I think it was like a school, like one of those school carnivals. And he was excited and running through, like trying to find what he wanted to play on. And he wasn't fluttering, but he would do a quick, and he was excited. So it was quick. And my husband was like, he didn't used to do that, but I'm noticing that he is. When you're going through the process, a lot of parents, it's hard to explain, but you want in the end for it not to be correct. You want to be able to be like, oh, your child is just a little weird. He's a little odd. He's unique, but he's not on the spectrum. And look, I'm not going to judge anybody on that, because it is a hard pill to swallow that your little baby isn't perfect in every single way. So I get it. And you have to let people get to that process the way they're going to get to that process. And if they're not, they're not. But for me, I wanted Jacob to be able to say, I'm on the spectrum. That's why I don't like that. It's too loud in here. Things make me excited. I want to ramble on about what I want to ramble on. I wanted him to be able to say, like, this is me. So that was part of my acceptance. Don't get me wrong. I was not like walking in that door easily. So if you're going through the process, I get it. I understand. And I think all of us go through that. But if you see children that they'll sometimes do it quickly, high functioning, do it quickly. They don't do it all the time. It may it's you have to catch it. If you know, you know. Let me just say that. If you know, you know. But usually, from my perspective, I'm not a professional. I'm just a mom. It's if they're super excited or nervous or afraid, those who are high functioning will just hit you with it real quick. Hit you with a little flutter, hit you with a little flap, a little shake of the hands, and then go on about their day. In my book, these guys are a little further on the spectrum. They're not as high functioning, but these do still correlate. Like you'll see a little bit of this in sometimes high functioning kids, and maybe a little bit of that in sometimes high functioning kids. But that's just a way of self-stimming, and I would say it's like a way of trying to think. Like some people tap a pen, twirl their hair, bite their nails. Self-stimming is a lot of that, a way to take in what's going on and figure out what you want to do. So again, check out the book. It's on Amazon, $10.99. What is Autism?